Good morning. We are still inside today because I was meditating this morning and it was so loud outside with the rain that I could hear it through my headset because it's not a noise cancelling headset. It was loud. There was a lot of rain. And now it's misty moisty out there. I don't even know if the Wi-Fi would work because, the moisture doesn't help. So we're inside with the rocks and there is nothing wrong with that. Now, this is, oh God, I remember this, forget this name all the time. Right, Carrie-Ann, Mike, good morning, gorgeous beings. I don't know who all you are, but I love that you join me. So this is Still Bite, which is the orangey stuff that comes in blades. You can see they're thin blades. And the sparkly stuff is apophyllite, which is just like in little flowers. You can get big apophyllite crystals, but this is little ones. And it's nice for sparkling under the artificial lights because it's so grey today that if I didn't turn them on, it'd be like we're all sitting here in the dark. So, yeah, I enjoy this. Apparently, I shouldn't, hold this for a long time because the orange colour, I think, is arsenic, which, if you hang on to something that's poisonous for a while, you're going to absorb it through your skin. But I'm not worried about showing it off to you because I think it's gorgeous. So, that's apophyllite and Still Bite, and it's lovely to be here with you. And this is tourmaline, something else that's wonderful and sparkly. Shiny thing. And this is the side of the crystal, which is obviously very gnarly and not perfect, but it's got these beautiful reflective facets on it, and there you can see the other faces of it. So they're very definitely, oh, there you go. You can see the shape better like this. So this is the kind of, pretty and beautiful side. And then we've got this natural termination. And there's, the bit that looks like a proper termination. And then it's broken or something. And this side is just interesting and gorgeous. And I enjoy this. I love that it sparkles. We like shiny things, right? So, good morning to you. I always start with shiny things or flowers or something pretty. There you are, you can actually see it now. Because it elevates us. And I like that. And this, I really enjoy. This is quartz from the Orange River in South Africa. Stephanie, it's you. Yeah, it is so pretty. We love sparkly things here. This is really groovy. Obviously it's quartz, but look, it's got the hematite phantoms that are really obvious, and it's all gnarly and broken, and it's so perfect. I love it. Yeah, totally shiny things, Mike. Totally. And it's kind of cloudy, and I can't show you, but there are places, if you just catch the light right, you can see there's right in the middle of each point, there's actually some amethyst. You can't see it from the outside. You got to sort of, but it's beautiful. I just love this. You can turn it round and around. I never get tired of it. There's a little sticker which has got OR on it and a number, which is its catalogue, I think. And I've never taken it off because it reminds me. And it's just fabulous. Jen, it's you. Good morning. It was given to me by my lovely friend Jenny Paolo, who loans me crystals that I can show to you. They come here on sleepover and then I'd take them back and get some other ones. So I feel very fortunate. But this is one that she gave me and I just love it. It's fabulous. So, those are our rocks for today. And it's Technique Tuesday, right? So we're talking about a thing that you can do because I like stuff that you can do. I like practical things that actually work. And of course, those of you that know me, that is the reason why I'm so in love with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, because it is practical, it works, I use it every day, and I use the things that I've learned from him every day. And yeah, I had an amazing meditation this morning, but if I talked about that, we'd never get to Technique Tuesday, and I want to give you something useful. It's like, it's great being able to tell a good story, and it was awesome, but it's not actually useful to you, huh? So let's do something you can use. So, I was thinking about the conversation we had yesterday, and the situation where you're just feeling emotionally drained because something creepy is blown up. And this was happening for somebody yesterday, and and we had a good conversation, and I think that they managed to make some changes, which was great. But it happens to all of us that we get stuck in a funk for whatever reason, whether it is justified or totally we've done it to ourselves, it doesn't matter. Amy, I love your little red flower. Great to see you. It doesn't matter whether your emotional funk is justified or not. Your body doesn't care. Your body is still getting it's still getting crappy information when you are feeling depressed or angry or resentful or bitter or desperate or, lackful or unloved or whatever it is. As soon as you think that thought, there is chemistry that happens in your brain because the thought's got to get from neuron to neuron, and when it does, there is a neurotransmitter that's involved in that, and the neurotransmitter that does that go from neuron A to neuron B is chosen according to the frequency of the thought, because thoughts have frequencies. They've measured it. So you get different neurotransmitters depending on the different kinds of thoughts, and then those neurotransmitters also, and I don't know exactly how it works because I haven't done enough learning yet, but that ends up communicating to the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in the brain. The pituitary whips up a bunch of neuropeptides which then communicate to your hormonal centers so that you end up very quickly feeling the way you were just thinking. And then because the feedback loop goes in both directions, because you're feeling a certain way, your brain very naturally goes looking for more thoughts to think the way you're just feeling. And so you think the way you feel, and you feel the way you think, and you're stuck in this loop, and you're in a funk, right? That is how that happens. And if you stay there for 5 minutes, that's cool. If you stay there for an hour, if you stay there for long enough, it just becomes normal. It becomes who you think you are. It's not, but your cells get used to that particular batch of chemistry, and you're stuck there, and you think, why is it so hard to stop feeling like crap? Well, that's part of the reason. It's a good chunk of the reason. You've been thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking and thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking and thinking and feeling, and that it's become a habit. It's who you think you are, and you keep doing it because your cells are conditioned to be like that. They actually change their structure because they say, oh, there's a lot of resentment hormones and, neurotransmitters and neuropeptides around about. Better make more places to process those. They actually change their structure to accommodate your normal state of emotional being. This, by the way, is why changing your normal state of being can be so bloody hard. Because it's not just, I've got to change my mind, you've got to change your body. And you might have been thinking crappy thoughts and feeling crappy feelings for decades. Hello, this is what I'm doing right now in my life. I know the thoughts and feelings that I've been thinking and feeling without even knowing it, because it becomes unconscious. You don't even know that you're thinking and feeling a certain way. You just do it. Decades. It doesn't reverse in an instant, right? It doesn't, because I've got to change how my cells have constructed themselves. They've gotten really used to that thing that I'm not even going to mention because it's just not who I'm choosing to be anymore. So, that's the first thing, right? We're going to talk about flip-flopping. Making pancakes. Flip-flop, one side the other. One side of the pancake, and I mean, you don't want to eat this pancake, but it's an analogy, it's a metaphor, whatever it is. I always get them mixed up. One side of the pancake is the one that's always been on top. It's who you're used to being. But you want to be somebody else. You want to have a different experience. You want to change your life. You want to change your health. You want to change your relationships. You want to change your job. Whatever it is, there is a point A and a point B. And point A is where I am and how I feel. And what you have to do is know about that situation, what you are thinking and feeling. And you have to sit down and pay attention to what you've been thinking and feeling unconsciously, not even noticing about your situation, before you can even pay attention enough to stop that. Step one is essential. If you're not willing to stop and look at yourself and your feelings and your thoughts about how it is, you will never be able to decide how you want it to be, and then you can't change it. You actually have to wake up, smell the roses and say, oh shit, I created this, and that's a whole nother story, but trust me, we do. Luna! Hello, honey! Texas is in the house. Indeed. You have to wake up and be willing to look at yourself And not to castigate yourself and say, oh, I'm awful, because that's just more crappy thoughts and feelings, right? You have to be willing to actually say, okay, this is the relationship I want to change. Now, what do I actually think about that person? Oh, they're always like this. Oh, they're always mean to me. Oh, I can never say what I think and feel. I can never be... Oh, I always, or this always happens to me, or it's just like this, or I'm just like this. Anything that you say is, I am, right? You start to notice those thoughts. And you also start to think, okay, when I think about that person, even though I don't know what I'm thinking, I feel blah, 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 blah. And you write down the feelings. Get to know who you are being in relationship to that relationship, or that job, or your sickness, or your financial situation, or the house you live in, or whatever it is. Get to know who you are being. Because bottom line, nothing is going to change until you become somebody else. Again, I'm speaking to you from current experience. There are things I want to change in my life. There are massive, wonderful things happening in my life, and there are still things I want to change that aren't the way I want them to be. And the more I'm in this game, the more I know that it's up to me to change who I am. It's not up to me to work harder and do more of what I've been accustomed to doing and getting no results with. I have to become that person who gets the results that I desire. And that's where I'm putting all my attention. I'm not putting it into doing, because I've already done the doing, and it doesn't work. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. So, you've got to be willing to look at who you've been being, what you've been thinking and feeling, what you've been feeling and thinking. And then, so that's step 1, 4 steps to making this pancake. Step 1 is to know what you don't want to think and feel anymore, and what you're not going to do anymore. If you are not going to be that person anymore, does that mean that the next time you think of that person, you can't give yourself those 3 minutes of thinking, well, they're wrong and they're horrible, and I'm justified in feeling this way about them. You might have to actually stop doing some things that feel pretty damn good. Because it's the way you survived, right? Don't beat yourself up, but just realize there's always a payoff. And we actually have to be willing to give up that thing, that way of being. There's always some yumminess somewhere. Oh, I love to feel guilty. There are people who adore feeling guilty. They go looking for situations to feel guilty. They do. And they finally recognize that, oh my God, I love this guilt. Because it's programmed, okay? Don't beat yourself up. Just realize. We get really addicted to it because, remember, at the cellular level, our cells change to accommodate the fact that we've been sending guilty or resentful or sad or angry or whatever it is chemistry at them for however long. So they say, okay, this is what it is. All right, let's change it. Make it like that. So that's why, so you have to notice. You have to pay attention. And then when you've done that and go, oh my God, this is who I've been being. Shit. But who do I want to be? What do I want to think about that person? And of course, when you want to think and feel and create about that, you actually have to stop thinking about that person. You have to think, okay, who do I want to be in the relationship that I desire, for example? And if I'm in the relationship that I desire, be it a working relationship or a healing relationship or an intimate relationship, whatever it is, when that relationship is the way that I think I need it to be for me to feel happy and loved and all that stuff, when it's like that, how am I thinking about that person then? Whoever that person is. Whether it's the person I'm with now or someone else, whatever. How am I thinking about it and how am I feeling? No, it's a bit different. I'm thinking, well, that person respects me and I respect them and we both take responsibility for ourselves and, whatever. And you feel safe and you feel in love with yourself so that you have love to give and you realize that you don't need anything from them. You just want them to show up as their best self and you show up as your best self. All those things. That's what you do. So you write that down. This is a mindful, aware process, and you can't often do it in 5 minutes. You really have to listen and pay attention and notice yourself for a week, thinking, how am I behaving? What am I doing? Okay, I don't like that, but how do I want it to be? I don't always know. I have to actually, just pay attention for a while. Step 1 and 2 are not instant sit down and fill in the form things. For some people they know. For me, usually I don't. I remember the first time I tried to do this kind of exercise, I was watching a workshop on video of Joe taking people through this. You know, he's in the workshop and he gives them a bit of time and they're writing and off they go and they do. I had to pause the bloody video and sit there and think, really, because it wasn't obvious to me. Because I've done a lot of the obvious things and, you know, I wasn't happy. I wasn't, you know, whatever it was. It's like, what actually do I want to change about myself, you know? And I had to really, it wasn't easy. I had to really consider it. So if you don't immediately know, don't sweat. So that's step 1 and 2. Know what you don't want to think and feel and behave like anymore. And then work out, okay, if that's what I don't want to be, what do I want to be? How do I want to think? How do I want to feel? And how does that look in my life? What will I do differently when I am that person? Thinking, feeling, behaving, right? Well, thinking, behaving, feeling. The feeling actually comes after behaving because you have an experience, you have an emotion. That's just how it works. That's science, neuroscience. Okay, step 1 and 2. Step 3, you have to pay attention. You actually have to pay attention enough to notice when you are going into 1, the things you don't want to do and be and think and feel and behave anymore. You have to pay attention enough to notice when you are thinking and feeling and doing them. I know this is too damn simple, but is it easy? No. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to pay attention. That is an effort. Why? Because we are so programmed and we are so automatic and we are so habitual. 95% of every thought you think and everything you do in your day is habit. Once you've hit 35, it's habit. And it's hardwired, and that's fine, because you don't want to have to learn to walk every day. You don't want to have to learn to eat every day. You don't want to have to learn to do your job every day. Habits are great, except when they don't serve us. So you have to become conscious enough and pay attention enough to notice when you've gone unconscious and you're doing that thing and thinking that feeling, thinking that thought and feeling that feeling. It becomes thinking and feeling, as Dr. Joe says, and oh shit, I'm doing it again. When did that happen? What? You have to start noticing when you're doing the thing. And then you have to apply some will and some determination. And you have to, in that moment, to some degree, and it can be to the smallest degree, because it can be like turning around and pushing against a mountain. To some degree, you have to be willing to think, oh shit, this is the pancake. I got to flip from 1 to 2. And to start with, all it might happen is think, what the hell was 2? Because you are knee deep in an automatic reaction. There's no choice in the matter. Your body's just running the show. You know, your brain, your body running a program that you've run for however many years. The first thing is to actually notice it enough to think, hang on a minute, what the hell was 2? I'm in the middle of 1 again. I am flying off the handle again, like I've done for the last however long. I'm angry for no, really good reason. I can justify it in my mind, but really, I just don't want to be this angry person anymore. Here I am, being this angry person. Whoa, what was 2 again? And for a while, it can be just a matter of realizing how many times you fly off the handle and don't even notice until it's happened. That is progress. Before, you used to just fly off the handle and say, well, this is who I am, and I should be angry because of blah, 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 blah. To shift from justifying who you've been, excusing yourself and allowing yourself to be because of whatever, into taking responsibility for it and going, oh, shit, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't manage to make the switch, but at least I noticed. That is a victory. You can't do anything until you notice. So you notice. And it takes practice, and of course, I go deep into my autonomic nervous system and the meditation work that I do, and I program my changes in there. I still have to open my eyes, stand up, walk through my life, and do exactly this thing that I'm telling you about. It doesn't happen by magic. Most of the time, change happens incrementally because we apply ourselves this way. But the changes that I'm making are so profound that I have to do them at this deeper level of myself. Because this is the caveat. Some of those changes, I couldn't have done this thinking consciously because they're so ingrained and so powerful and so excruciatingly painful that I just couldn't think my way through them. Very hard to think greater than your feelings when it's like that. So that's the piece I'm not talking about, but this is still a process that I do with my eyes open. oh my God, I've gone back into that old thing. What, that's one. What is two? Can I, in the smallest degree, move myself a little bit towards inhabiting two now? Can I go from, oh my God, I want to rip that person's head off and spit down their throat? This is not me, but, I have had this in the past, to just standing back enough to calm myself down and think, okay, what do I actually want to do in this situation? Even if I did rip their head off and spit down their throat, after the event, when I've gone, oh, bloody hell, can I step back and say, okay, what would I do differently next time? How would I better embody and think and feel as the person I want to be? So it doesn't matter whether you catch it before or you screw up, quote unquote, and catch it afterwards. As soon as you've taken responsibility for it and looked at it and gone, oh my God, I need to do that differently next time, and you thought about it, you're rehearsing something different in your mind. You are laying down new neurological hardware and rehearsing it and preparing yourself to have a different experience next time. Guaranteed you're going to have another experience. Isn't it your habitual self? It's going to come up. It's okay. This is the process. And you just get better at noticing and going from 1 to 2. And what happens is, after a while, it happens so quickly that you stop having to think about it. And then one day you look up and you think, oh, that person did that thing that used to piss me off and that I'd always lose my rag about for however long. They just did it. I didn't even notice. Or they did it and I noticed, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Compassion, or I need to do this, or whatever it is. And then it's become a new habit to be that new person. It's just who you are. And that's how you flip-flop. But there's a lot of flip-flopping, and that's okay. Don't sweat. And by the way, the better you get at flip-flopping, you think, oh, I'm making progress. This is good. I'm getting more aware. And then there's a shitstorm explodes in your face, and you think, oh my God, I got nowhere. No, what happened is it's kind of like the chaos of real change, and things are really changing. When you think you're making progress and then it all appears to go to hell, don't sweat. That is the real change happening. That is something breaking apart, so something new can come in. So don't worry about it. I'm out of time. It is Tuesday. I'll be back in 3.5 hours to give you an update on what our Sang Marie Gomez is doing in the Gambia. He's going great guns. It's really full on. He's doing a great job. I'd love to update you. So join me in 3.5 hours if you wish. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Big love. Bye-bye.